What's going on, everybody? If you are listening in right now, this is the Fulcrum Report on the comic experience. Episode 34, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Episode 34. We're going to take a deep dive into the Dora the Explorer trailer this episode. I'm just kidding. No, but before we start this video, if you guys wouldn't mind, please dropping a like, subscribe to our channel, hit the little bell notification so you know when our videos pop up, our amazing comic dubs. Also, don't forget to comment below. We love pop culture and Star Wars and all this craziness just as much as you. So get down there and talk with us. And then also, please don't forget to check on our Patreon. What can we get from our Patreon, Gilbs?
Well, right now we have 4 tiers. It's Fulcrum Follower, which is just, it gets you a thanks at the end of our videos. Fulcrum Fan, which gets you access to our Discord channel. There's Fulcrum Faithful, which gets you extra uncensored audio, which is actually already posted there. We have from episode 31 and 32. Most of it involves Harrison. and finally, we also have the sponsored tier, which that'll get you a guaranteed ad read every single episode for whatever your website, your channel, your product, whatever. So if you think you have something that our audience wants, subscribe to us and let us know, and then we'll do an ad read for it.
So anyways, I'm your host Sebastian. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm gonna shoot it over to my other bro in the US, Gilbert. What's going on, Gilbs?
What's up, guys? I'm Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter as well. I'm glad to be back.
He's too cool for the Instagram, apparently.
Yeah, I don't do pictures.
Right on. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Cool. Shoot it on over to the UK. We have Mr. John Wick. Marshall, what's going on, Marshall?
They took my dog. I'm kidding, it's me. It's not Keanu Reeves, it's me.
Whoa!
I wanted Keanu Reeves.
Well, you could find me in the next Bill and Ted, which got announced. I'm excited. But yeah, good to be back.
And watch this.
For shame, Sebastian.
I know. It's not my fault. It's my parents' fault. They must have thought it was like too inappropriate or something. No son of mine will be seeing adolescent Keanu Reeves. Not on my watch. But welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Cool. And we have the lovely voice stylings of Crazy Uncle Harrison. What's going on, Crazy Uncle Harrison?
Well, hey there, I'm back gone from the crazy farm, and I came back with this whole bushel of crazy for you.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
I believe that was just Walmart, actually. That he was coming back from.
That would be a long trip because we don't have them here.
Sponsored by Walmart.
It's so good Harrison walked all that way.
It's so good. We're so popular, they decided to put one in Harrison's neighborhood, actually. It's the first Walmart in the UK. Is it everything you'd hoped it would be?
Well, it's pretty good, because essentially Walmart discovered the things that I was wearing to go to the supermarket, and they were like, that man needs a Walmart. It's his natural habitat. It would be irresponsible not to give that man a Walmart.
Boom, there it was. It's like the South Park episode with the Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Gonna alienate the audience right there. No. So let's move on to our first topic. But welcome back, everybody, by the way. Thank you. Episode 34. Let's get on to our quiz question. I mentioned Dora the Explorer. Did any of you all check out that trailer?
No, but
like you guys,
I saw your complaints on Twitter, I think it was, Sebastian. I was like, that's enough. That tells me enough.
What were my complaints?
I think it was you. It's complaining that there was no map or none of that.
Yep, that was me.
Yeah, I thought so.
There's no map. There's no boots. Doesn't wear boots. Where's Chico the squirrel? No swiper. I'm out. You lost me. So anyways, Fulcrum quiz question for episode 34. We got the Dora the Explorer trailer. I want y'all to go find Nick Jr. show and make it a live action movie. And then you'll get bonus points for the closer you get away from the source material. So come back at the end of the episode, and we'll see who won. So let's get it on. I want to talk. Let's see if y'all been doing your homework. Star Wars Resistance Season 2 or Season 1 just had ended. Did any of you see that? Am I the only man-child in the room?
Unfortunately, I fell out of it.
What episode did you? So we'll start with you, actually, Gilbert. When did you fall out, and kind of what lost you, and maybe are you going to check it back out? What's going to bring you back in?
Well, it's not that I lost interest. It's that I just didn't keep up with it, and it was at the mid-season. Yeah, just the mid-season finale. I stopped watching. I haven't watched it yet. And it's not that I don't want to. It's just I can't right now.
What was missing from the show that wasn't an instant binge for you? Because I guarantee you, if Stranger Things Season 3 drops, I guarantee you're gonna drop everything and
abso-freaking-lutely. And it's the fact that
okay, so yeah, what was this show missing that
Team Ace. I wanted more Team Ace, and I got very little of it. And definitely less hype Phazon than I would have wanted.
Yeah, and good news, hype Phazon in the second half of this. Okay, so yeah, I checked out the whole thing. Hype Phazon definitely shows back up. He's probably the biggest member of Team Ace, but it was really odd because we got that character trailer that we all talked about on episode. We got to do some research. I'm curious to see what episode that is. The further we get, it's rad to find out. Like, episode 6, we talked about this trailer, but yeah, we talked about the trailer, and legitimately, they're all just background characters with maybe a handful of lines, And the actual lore, you wouldn't have known any of their lore unless you have seen that video, actually. So that was disappointing. Is there any chance you're going to go back and check it out, though?
Oh yeah, definitely. As soon as they come out with a Disney Plus thing, I'm definitely going to subscribe to that and then binge watch the hell out of it.
Oh, I'm totally. Yeah, they already have me with the Mandalorian and all that stuff. So
yeah, that too.
All the Marvel projects too. So yeah, I'm instantly in. Put the Marvel movies on there. I don't know Star Wars.
Point is, yes, I'll eventually get around to it when I have some time.
Cool. Marshall, did you? You weren't. You didn't. You failed me too, didn't you, sir?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Did I do that?
Yeah, I did.
Did Bisa do that?
I did, yes.
Okay, so did you checked out the show, right? Did you ever make it past the first episode?
I didn't make it past the first half an hour.
Yeah.
I'll admit. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
It was funny because Daniel was supposed to be on this week because he's the only one that actually saw the entire thing. So hopefully we'll get him on another episode and hopefully get to talk about it. Is it something you're gonna check out? Or it's not Clone Wars or Rebels level, so you're out.
I think we're on a break. Yeah, I'm out for now.
You're out.
Maybe in the future.
It might be one of those shows also where I might pull together I'll make a custom episode guide for you of the must-see episodes.
That would probably be better. Yeah, I have a short attention span, so sitting through an entire series is hard for me.
Yeah. No. It was a good series, but it definitely I felt like it wasted its time quite a few episodes when there were filler episodes actually where I would have preferred them have an episode about the aces, and they totally didn't accomplish that. So, yeah, it was a good. I'm giving my opinion throughout the since y'all didn't see, but I thought it was okay. It was really interesting. We got to see the destruction of Hosnian Prime from Kaz's perspective. So it's a neat little moment. Mm-hmm. Another really interesting thing, and this is spoilers. Gilbert, you're gonna check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Should I not
just say it? Just go ahead.
Okay, so I'm forgetting her name. Tam, the mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So she, when the First Order takes over Colossus Station, they are kind of pulling her a little bit towards the First Order because she has no idea about Kaz and the Resistance and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, she actually, by the end of the season, joins the First Order because she felt so betrayed by the secrets and stuff. So that was a really actually interesting thing to come out of the season finale. And also for them to do that, because I was crossing my fingers. I was like almost screaming at the screen. I'm like, turn evil, please, because we never get this story. And she turned to the First Order and she left with them, and it was really awesome to have that happen in the show, and especially for a character that was on their side the entire time. Harrison, did you get a chance to check any of these out? I believe you said you're definitely not interested, right?
It's more that I will probably check it out. Yeah, it's again like Gilbert said. Once it's easy to stream, and I can just like pay for it, and I don't have to worry about pirating it or having to get yet another service. I will quite happily check it out, but at the moment I just haven't had the time.
Gotcha. Yeah, because unless you have on demand or any way of like recording it, yeah, it's not very convenient, especially for adults. It's on like Disney Channel. You gotta sit through those commercials, and it's just really unfair. So okay, so all y'all disappointed me. I guess I am the reigning supreme ultimate Star Wars fan this season.
Guess so.
I watched them all religiously. So anyway, Star Wars Resistance. I'll give anybody who checked it out, comment below and let me know what you thought. I'll comment down there. I'm Revan Winter Soldier down there in the comments if any of you are wondering. So I'll come talk with y'all. So I think we're gonna move on to let's talk about this real quick. It seems that like they're really hard moving forward with the Game of Thrones Star Wars movie, and I'm just gonna call it that because the director is Benioff and Weiss, and I can't remember the other guy because, but anyways, it sounds like they're moving forward with that movie, and I'm pretty stoked. They said it's gonna be definitely hundreds of years before anything we've seen, and just a brand new story, but set in the world of Star Wars. So of course the lightsabers and the guns and the Force and the ships and the sounds and the planets. So I'm gonna start off with Harrison. Actually, what are your thoughts on this? And are you stoked? Do you think this is real? I don't know if I 100% believe that it's gonna start shooting like this fall, but you never know. Star Wars Episode 9 is ending, and they gotta put something out in theaters.
Yeah.
So take it away.
I'm more inclined to believe this than I am other things, because like with Star Wars news, the stuff about movies and about like making something using cameras always happened. It's only video games that it's never real, or that it always gets cancelled.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm quite hopeful, and I think this is something that fans have wanted for a long time. So I'm really kind of stoked about it, and I think from what I've seen, this is an era of Star Wars that I want to see more of. Whereas we've moved forwards a lot in time, and like, let's go back. Let's get back to when it was simpler.
And I think something that's really neat also that can be done, since this isn't in the original canon of the Knights of the Old Republic and stuff, we can also like, Bane is canon at least, so we can maybe see him. But I think it would be really neat to have like the aesthetic of like a more medieval type looking Star Wars also, because we have these Game of Thrones directors. That's kind of what they're, with the dragons and stuff, and maybe even like Star Wars type dragons, and maybe more Lord of the Rings. Still set in Star Wars, absolutely, but give it more of that grimy kind of like less technology. Everybody looks like a hobo dwarf,
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that's one of the coolest things about Episode 4. When it first ever came out, is that fact that like even though there's robots and stuff, like it's like hobos that happen to have robots, and everything's kind of messed up, and it's like I think you always compare Star Wars and Star Trek, and it was always like Star Trek was new and modern and shiny and perfect, and then Star Wars is kind of a bit more real.
I also think it would be really neat to see like I don't know, like deal with some sort of like royal family or something, or kings, or some sort of leadership like that. Different, I know it's Star Wars, so I don't know how you would do like different nations or something like that, but have these different clans, or I would like to see all that kind of stuff. Even like I'm just trying to realize like court jesters, but in the world of Star Wars, and all that kind of stuff. More of like a medieval kind of Star Wars aesthetic, I think would be totally rad. Mm-hmm. What would you want from? What are your wish list for this movie? What are some things that just need to show up?
I don't know. I mean, in terms of like the stuff that because we talked about it really early on. We talked about like the idea of like a Game of Thrones Star Wars thing with like the huts.
Yeah,
and something like that because like when you talk about court jesters and all that stuff, like Jabba the Hutt's bar or whatever, it is so like that. With I know his name, but I can't remember what it is. But the little giggling guy who gets shot, and that guy,
Salacious B. Crumb.
Yes, thank you. And you had a weird.
I lost that was like one of two. I did a Star Wars quiz back in like high school, and out of 20 questions, I got 2 wrong, and that was one of them. So I never forgot that, and I never forgot the Sarlacc pit.
But yeah, it's so medieval, and it's like it's a court. He's on a throne, he's a king, he has advisors, he has courtesans. They all come into it, and I'd like to see like more of that. That would be really fun, and to have a little bit more grit than a usual Star Wars movie would be fun. But I'm also aware that might be a bit too much for Disney-owned Star Wars.
Cool. I'm gonna move it on to Machinima Man Marshall. We'll start with the opposite. What do you think? How could they mess this up? How can they take this thing that everybody's really been waiting for and totally just, I have great faith in these guys, and it's also like a nice clean slate. There's also a huge possibility for like a 180. How could they possibly mess this up where fans aren't happy about what we're getting?
Maybe if they take characters from the Knights of the Old Republic games and change them too much, because we know everyone hates it when characters are changed, drastically. So if they do that to like throw us off, I don't think people would be happy with that.
I'm really hoping for Darth Revan. That's just my one character who needs to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 3 seconds away from being in Star Wars Clone Wars. So
yeah, I kind of hope they get some of the guys from BioWare and LucasArts who made and published it, to advise on some of the things. I think that'd be really good.
And even get those guys that did the cinematics for the MMO, because like those were really nice looking and like had some nice aesthetics and
and
like Star Wars movies I totally want to sit down and watch.
Yeah, especially like Casey Hudson, who directed it and made Mass Effect of all things. Like if they got him on there to advise it, I think that'd be really cool.
What's something that needs to be in this movie, or for you, Marshall, or you're just out completely? Like, it better be in here, or I'm not seeing it.
I don't know.
Which is funny because we'll see it no matter what.
Yeah,
That's Star Wars in it.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
What'll like massively wreck it for you? I guess.
If it's
like, what's a huge no-no?
If it's like a trilogy and the second film is all about Gungans.
So you're ready for anything, pretty much. You're ready to go.
Yeah, like you watch, they'll get George Lucas back or something, and he'll make another Binks.
I love that meme you sent me all week. I've been showing everybody. I laughed so hard. I laughed out loud. That was gorgeous.
I'll try and find it for the other guys.
Oh, it was so good. But okay, so I'm gonna shoot it over to Gilbert. Are you a Game of Thrones fan? Have you checked out Game of Thrones?
Oh, dude, I am so a Game of Thrones fan. I'm counting down the days until it comes out, until the new season comes out.
Okay, so I've actually never got a chance to check out Game of Thrones. It's not 100% up my alley.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay. Well, first of all, you need to log out right now. You need to go get on HBO. You need to go watch Game of Thrones. Like, you need to just sit down for like a good like month straight and just watch all of those episodes.
I tried it.
I tried it through stuff and.
Oh my God, guys, what are we even doing here?
It doesn't look fantastical enough.
You know what? Dragons, zombies, and dragon zombies. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but there's so much incest.
But how many seasons do I have to? Yeah.
All right.
And limp weirs.
Yeah, I saw that episode of South Park too. Yeah. But that is so beside the point. That is so beside the point.
It was just too over the top for me.
Whatever. I like it.
Yeah. So, and then Harrison, have you checked it out, or you're just out on
Game of Thrones?
Have you done the game? Yeah.
No. I have not. The usual thing of I have no way to watch Game of Thrones, and I didn't for years. And then, like, everyone was like, "Oh, you should jump on that," and I was like, I have 4 years worth of this stuff to catch up on. Nah, I'm going to leave it be.
I wish I digged it or dug it, but
Yeah.
it's just I haven't multiple reasons haven't got a chance to check it out. But
For the record, I think I would love Game of Thrones. I really do, but it is literally it's that it is difficult for me to watch Game of Thrones, and I refuse to buy DVDs because physical media is dead.
Yeah.
I think for me,
Fair enough.
it's just like I look at the series as a whole. I step back and look at the whole thing, and I see a lot of like unnecessary things that and a lot of just unnecessary episodes. Like too many for me to watch to have to get to the good ones. You know what I mean? Because I know it gets really good and high budgeted towards the ending season, and I don't feel like watching 5 seasons.
Yeah. And I mean that could translate to this new Star Wars series, and that's kind of my worries that there's going to be some filler episodes that's just like I don't care, skip. But I mean, and that happens in Game of Thrones. Like anyone who knows, like I know you guys don't know who this is, but anyone who knows the Sam Tarly, and that whole side story, like that character arc, I just don't give a crap. I'm just like, dude, kill him now. Like, why do I care that he loves this chick and there's a baby involved, and he's also like kind of a fat dude who never got any. I'm like, it's seriously, that's his whole story arc is that he's just reads and he's fat. Anyone who likes Sam, they're probably gonna hate me for that, but I'm sorry, but that is, and so I'm willing to bet that there's in the Star Wars series there's gonna be a few episodes or characters that's just like, dude, why are you even here?
Okay, so that's your fear at least.
Yeah.
Now, so let's get on to like you're a huge fan of this. What do you see this Star Wars Game of Thrones type movie being?
Honestly, I see it like if it's anything like the way the Game of Thrones is structured, it's gonna be just a show of them like constantly backstabbing each other, but in like clever ways that you kind of didn't see coming. You're just like, I didn't see that. Like, that's interesting. I thought they were friends, but it turns out they're not. So if it's going to be like a Hutt story, then absolutely I could see it going that way. But honestly, what I'd like to see is more like a bounty hunter's tale. Like I'd like to see more about like not necessarily Boba Fett or Jango Fett or anything, but I'd like to see like Aura Singh or like maybe like.
Oh, I was talking like specifically like the Game of Thrones director though. I think they're yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to bet that we're probably going to see a lot of probably drinking and sexual innuendo because that's what Game of Thrones is really heavy with. It's like people who have a heavy drinking and drug problem.
I kind of hope it isn't too much Game of Thrones in there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want it to feel like Star Wars, not Game of Thrones.
If it is, it's going to be very bloody, and that's one thing I don't really want. Is that Star Wars? There's killing, but it's not really like overly. Like there's not a whole, you don't see anyone cut each other's throats, but in Game of Thrones you see that almost every episode.
And I wouldn't imagine Lucasfilm doing anything like that either.
Throws a thermal detonator at him and he catches it. Guy blows it.
Sitting there with like half a blown off.
Seriously, it's just like a pile of guts laying there. Like I seriously, that's something that could be in Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's something that might be in the new Star Wars show.
It just opens at like a Twi'lek strip club or something.
A Twi'lek brothel.
Yeah,
it's like we have one of the bounty hunters just sitting there getting laid with 3 different girls.
Or one of the Hutts because they like disgusting stuff.
Oh god. I don't even see. That's even worse.
Do you think it's gonna be like when James Gunn makes a movie, and it's just gonna be like full of actors that are already in Game of Thrones because the director likes them and he's gonna bring them on?
Isn't Star Wars already like that? I mean, how many Game of Thrones cameos do we have during this Disney era?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. I don't know. I mean, we got Pedro Pascal in the Mandalorian, so it's absolutely possible we might. I mean, if we get Peter Dinklage in there, I'm so for it. I want Peter Dinklage to be like. I don't know what he'll be.
A droid. I want him to be like an R2 unit. That would be awesome.
I was gonna say if they're gonna bring in like actors from Game of Thrones, they need to bring Sean Bean in just to kill him off. He
needs to get his head chopped off. He needs to get his head chopped off by a lightsaber. That would be the best.
He just looks straight at the camera.
Y'all ever see
and he's
Jupiter?
Like, not again.
Jupiter Ascending.
Unfortunately, yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, I went out and purposely watched that.
Have you guys
it is Discord.
Have you guys ever heard of a show called Wasted?
Nope.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It's a British comedy show based around this guy, but the sort of gimmick of the show is it's just him hanging out with his mates, but he has a spirit guide, and his spirit guide is Sean Bean.
Yes. Yes.
So it's just like, but it's like Sean Bean, like, dressed as Ned Stark, but playing himself.
Dude, that's... I mean, I want to watch that now. I'm sold.
Cool. So, overall, is everybody pretty excited about a Game of Thrones directed Star Wars prequel movie type deal coming out?
Yes. I would say yes.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, I don't watch the series, but I hear nothing but good about it. It's not 100% up my alley, but it's Star Wars, so absolutely, bring it on. Okay. Let's move on. We have Star Wars Celebration coming April 12th. We're so close. Yes, so far. I'm like on IV drip. Just like I'm out of Star Wars Resistance now. I'm withdrawing. I peeked back into Battlefront reluctantly just to get something. Just to feel. But anyways, so April 12th is when it's getting all kicked off. I got the schedule right there for y'all. Let's go through real quick. Let's just give our quick predictions of. I'm going to start with the first square right there with episode 9. Gilbert, do you want to give me a quick prediction on what you guaranteed something to show up in the episode 9 trailer? I mean,
the episode 9 trailer.
Serious, yeah. Don't give me your like.
Ghost Vader. Ghost Vader.
Ghost Vader. Okay, yeah, we've been hearing a lot of that. It was concept art. Beautiful book, by the way, if you guys ever want to check it out. The Art of Star Wars, The Force Awakens. It's really neat concept art. You get to see like a whole alternate take of how the movie could have turned out. Yeah. So Ghost Vader / like Ghost Anakin. Do you think it's gonna be like that whole type deal?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it's going to be something like that.
I'm really crossing my fingers, bro. I am like hoping they left it last second. Like, you know what I mean? They left all the best for last, hopefully.
# bring back Hayden Christensen.
For real, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about him too, and he's showing up to Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
So like, I'm down.
Give him a second chance.
Yeah, we don't need to hear him talk too much either.
Third chance.
Can we do what they did in Star Wars Battlefront and have the Star Wars Clone Wars voice actor voice dub over Hayden Christensen's face? What do y'all think about that, by the way? I found that pretty terrifying. It just didn't work for me.
I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, I think I posted it on Twitter or something, but there's in Star Wars Battlefront, there's Hayden Christensen's likeness, yet it's the voice of Anakin from the Clone Wars, and it's just super weird. Like, it just doesn't, it's his, because it's so realistic, his face, yet you hear Anakin's voice coming out of it. It's not right.
I don't think I didn't know the difference between the voices, so I was like, oh yeah, I thought it was just that it was kind of creepy how like him they got that face. It was just a bit too real.
Machinima Man, give me your number one thing that you think will show up in an episode 9 trailer, or your wish, you know.
Carrie Fisher and Billy D. Williams.
Okay, yeah, I would love to see Lando again.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if we're going off the concept art with him in the yellow shirt, like, yeah, I'm down.
I think he's gonna show up right at the end.
Yeah, for real. I think he's gonna be like that original like Han Solo stinger they had with the original Force Awakens trailer. Remember that?
Yeah.
We're home.
Yeah.
Joey, we're home. Yeah. Everybody, give your best Harrison Ford impression.
I can't. I'm not even gonna try.
I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
Get off my plane. No, I did it. Damn it! You guys got me into it.
Here we go. Ready? It's true. Well, it's not very good, but
laugh it up, fuzzball.
Anyway,
like this, Harrison. What's something that's absolutely gonna show up in the, or at least on your wish list, you know, of digging deep down in the barrel of our deepest dreams? What's something you want to show up in the episode 9 trailer?
I want to see all of the droids, all of the new droids being awesome and cool, because they're like the quality of Star Wars movies has got to the point where my main joy is just like the new designs that were made by someone who had nothing to do with the script.
Somebody as far away from the project as possible, which is a really good sense of style, basically.
Yeah, it's just some guys like, can you make some stuff that looks good? That bit I can do.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think I'm really stoked for the droids. We had that new like little mouse type droid, megaphone dude. Yeah, and then even with Star Wars Resistance, like Bucket is like he's awesome.
Yeah.
And like I can't get enough of these droids, and that seems to really actually be the best thing coming out of Star Wars lately, unfortunately. For me personally, also, like, I think we're gonna get a new trooper, but like, yeah, some new trooper designs, and I need to see, like, I want to see everything. I want to see the Knights of Ren, and I want to see like Kylo Ren. I want to see everybody's like costume up and centered. That's like always the big thing for me, because that's when I start drawing up my Funko / like action figure wish list. I gotta see all the new designs, and I think that's pretty much all I'm stoked for. I don't know what Star Wars Episode 9 even is going to be, so I'm just hoping there's some cool-looking stuff. Okay, let's move on. I don't really care about Vader Immortal, Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Rebel, Star Wars Fallen Order. Let's do that. Okay, starting with Machinima Man. Are you going to play Star Wars Fallen Order first of all?
If and when it ever comes
Respawn
out.
has... Right.
If
Respawn has some really, out of all the EA companies, I've been totally digging Apex Legends. I can't get enough of it lately. I just recently hopped back in after like getting kind of done with Fallout 76. So like
At last.
I can't complete the final 15 minutes of the game. I'm literally ready to launch a nuke, and until my buddy can help me play, I can't finish the game. It's so sad. So I'm waiting until then. Respawn makes some really legitimate games, and EA doesn't seem to mess around with them so much. So what's like a wish list for you of something that like needs to come out of this game?
Oh my god. Can we
lot of
just
Apex.
have Knights of the Old Republic 3, please? Please,
Yes,
Respawn.
I agree.
No, you can't redirect this question.
I-
I need a Jedi Fallen Order.
I mean,
So we know it's going to be set after Revenge of the Sith, and I think it's dealing with some Inquisitors too. It might tie in with the Vader comic a tad, and also like Star Wars Rebels. So maybe like I'm trying to direct you. Is there anything out of that seems a tad interesting that you might want to see?
I think we should go back to the quiz question last week, but it was like when I said if what Star Wars game, and I said Republic Commando 2 from Respawn. I'm just hoping for that, or Knights of the Old Republic 3. I have no other desires.
He's really not wanting to talk
So
about
all
Jedi Fallen
right,
Order.
let me rephrase his answer for
we
him.
get it. We get it.
He
You're done.
hopes,
Okay.
he hopes for EA to cancel that and then re-release it as something else entirely. That's what he wants.
Or it's just a code name.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Fallen Order is Knights of the Old Republic in German or something.
It's like what they did when they first released Civil War. It's like it was called like the Serpent Society, and then they just like, oh, you know what? Actually, let's change the
I
title.
remember
Yeah,
that.
there you go. Anything's
I was
possible.
there. So I think I'm just dying to say it, but I think with something I'm really looking forward to Jedi Fallen Order is like the maneuverability mechanics, the way my Jedi moves and kind of goes around characters and stuff, because they had the sliding down really nice, and I expect it to be like a third person type game, but they have sliding down really nice. They also like if you play Titanfall, like the wall running. So maybe we can work in just a mild amount of that with Jedi type stuff. Get some Force stuff working. But I feel like they really have a nice touch on like momentum. They have a nice touch on like the feel of everything. Everything always feels really nice. So if they can get that lightsaber play feeling really nice and the Forces, I'm down, yo. What's something you really need out of this game, or something you're really hoping shows up out of it?
No lightsabers. That's what I want. I want to see still have a Force user, but no lightsabers, because it's supposed to be Fallen Order. They're supposed to be in hiding. If you're gonna play as a
Okay,
Jedi,
so maybe like
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see a light, like kind of like in the same way that they did, Jedi Knight, or Jedi Outcast. Like how you could use a gun or a lightsaber. Like I would like to see that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you play Jedi Academy?
Yes, I have.
Do you remember that mission where like that crime lord takes away your lightsaber for a minute? Like,
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
exactly.
Mission of the
I
whole,
want
of the
to
whole
see
thing.
that.
You fighting and gaining everything back using like just the Force.
Yeah, like maybe like the end of the game, you can get your lightsaber back, or you can do that, and then you can just chop through everyone. But until then, just have a gun.
Yeah. I think it would be also that would also be really rad. Yeah, if it's mostly guns and Force stuff. and then maybe start, in the beginning of the game have a lightsaber, and then you lose it or it gets destroyed, and that makes kind of makes you feel
exactly
weaker. Also, yeah, maybe have the story about a Jedi not relying on his weapon so much, but his wit and
like
the Force.
They always talk about how the Jedi's best weapon is the Force. Well, you know what? Let's prove that.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome.
It does run the risk of becoming too Mass Effect, though, if there's no lightsabers. Because Mass Effect, you have biotic powers, which is basically the Force. You have all these alien races,
Okay, that's fine. That's true.
I can almost guarantee there's going to be some lightsabers. I think even in that groundbreaking reveal trailer from E3 last year, I'm pretty sure when he was sitting in that chair that he said there was going to be some lightsabers.
Okay, no, I got one. How about this? There are lightsabers, but they can be destroyed. Like you can get a lightsaber, but then it can be chopped up.
That's like my number one pet peeve in video games.
Weapon
I hate
degradation.
Weapons.
Yeah. All right, fine, move on.
When in life, when has a gun ever broken within hours? Like Far Cry 2.
All right, move on.
Have you played the latest Zelda? You hit like one squishy enemy with like a Master Sword, and it's just gone.
I'm really not down with that kind of stuff. Even Fallout, I'm like, your guns last a while, and I get it. That's like the whole point of the game. But like, my gun's breaking down all the time. It's just so unrealistic. I'm like, how are my guns put together? Just duct tape and nails? Just a couple shots and my gun's falling apart?
One day we're all going to sit down and have a long talk about this and why weapon degradation is a good thing. But that is not today.
Okay, interesting. Okay, cool.
It's the worst.
So, who have I not hit? Harrison. Is there anything out of the Jedi? Are you gonna play this game if it looks good enough?
Yeah.
Have you checked out Respawn stuff?
Not that much. Here's a little thing for you, Sebastian. The dynamic that we have going on here is you are very much the canary. We send you in to video games to find out if they're terrible and poisonous. And then if you survive, we might play them. So
like Fallout.
You know what's the saddest thing about Fallout? All this additional content, by the way, has been beautiful because it's after the fact. Like, you're going into buildings and then it's new interiors and shit that they designed after the fact, and it's so much better. And the quests are so more original, but it's so late. It's too late.
No.
But the new quests are so cool. Anyways, Jedi Fallen Order. What needs to show up in this that's gonna yank you in right away?
I was trying to think of stuff that I haven't seen that much in these games, and I would love to see. It doesn't have to be the whole game, but sections, or the ability to play as a droid, but not as a cool droid, like an R2-D2 style droid. So all the mechanics are stealth based to get round guards, and then puzzles. Because you're hacking stuff and rewiring things and trying to get through vents and stuff like that. There could be a solid snake.
Okay, so I would agree with you, but I've already played this in Star Wars Battlefront 2. See, I'm the canary. Did you play Star Wars Battlefront 2?
No.
So there was good. Did any of y'all play Star Wars Battlefront 2?
I love that response. No. What?
Shut up, Sebastian.
See, I'm gonna ask you, David. This is where we'll get into the diamond achievements right here. Did anybody play the campaign of Star Wars?
I did, and I played the free episode that came out a few months after it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. We're Star Wars fans. We have to get the story. It was funny. I was talking to a friend earlier. I find it odd how I have so many games that I haven't seen the end to yet. My Star Wars games completed 100%.
Wow.
It's just so different. But there was that drone mission in the campaign in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I never really seemed to enjoy those too much. They just didn't seem to do it quite right.
It was.
I'm sorry.
14 hours of my life I'm not getting back.
I know. Yo, shout out to Shriv though. Shriv's really rad. I really dig that character.
Yeah, to be fair, he was pretty good.
I saw a meme with him with the 8-bit glasses. He's the dopest thing from that game.
I have no idea who that is.
You know what? I can't get into it because we'll be here all day.
Yeah, I need to move on. But okay, so you want to see new stuff? Okay, so you like the drone stuff, but that's like I'm just gonna say right here, you know, maybe Respawn could do a better job, but DICE didn't do such a great job at drone, like little gameplays and mini games and stuff. I didn't dig it too much. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fair. It is something that can be bad. I suppose what I'd like to see is, do you know what I'd love? I'd love like Beyond Good and Evil, like the original Beyond Good and Evil, but set in a Star Wars universe. That would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Because Beyond Good and Evil's like really close to being like a Star Wars game. Like the world it's set in is very similar to Mos Eisley and, you know, that kind of Star Wars, you know, mix of cultures kind of aesthetic they had going on.
Yeah.
And aren't they developing Beyond Good and Evil too?
They are.
Yeah, it looks
I
groundbreaking,
don't know
by
what
the
to
way.
make of it.
I think
It does.
I think it's next generation consoles for sure, because it seems they're doing like full open world, but to the point where you're like in and out of ships and you know, atmospheres and stuff. Like they're going, you know, all out for this. So it looks like next gen for me for sure.
Yeah, I watched some gameplay footage where like they, you know, like the character had a jetpack and they like flew from like an island to the top of a giant statue, like a, you know, Statue of Liberty style statue, and then like at some point got in a spaceship and took off, and you know, with like essentially no loading screens, and it was just, yeah, it was huge. And
Okay, so that would be really rad in a Star Wars game. Jedi, you know, jump in your Jedi starfighter, fly around, jump out, do some like Star Wars Clone Wars type, you know, Jedi stuff, huh?
Yeah, like, yeah, for games, the fact that games are getting like that and getting that big is starting to scare me.
I know, because it's funny, because like for a while I was like, oh, what else could there be? I feel like there's pretty much all the types of games there could be, but now that we're breaking restrictions, now we're, you know, who knows what we could get. And it's really scary to think what's after that. You know what I mean? What's after these non-breaking, you know, non-loading screens, huge open worlds, in and out of atmospheres, in and out of ships.
Well,
you know, just
plain and simple,
freedom.
guys. It's the Matrix, and you know what? I am absolutely ready to jump full like head first into that Sword Art Online-esque world. And I'm like, let's do it.
Same. I never need. Yeah.
Death game. Let's do it.
In blue sky. Cool. Okay, I think that's pretty much. We're gonna get some stuff from Mandalore. In like one sentence, Gilbert, Star Wars: The Mandalorian. What's something that's gonna blow everybody's mind in the trailer? What are we all gonna be talking about next? You know, come after April 14th.
Pedro Pascal actually makes it look cool.
I know you hate him.
I really don't. Like, I don't know what it is about him. He rubs me the wrong way, man.
I think it's the same thing with like, yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna mention her name.
It could be anyone
yeah.
with you, Sebastian. Brie Larson?
It is. So, yeah, Pedro Pascal actually being cool. Machinima Man, in one sentence, what's something that we're all going to be talking about after the Mandalorian trailer drops?
IG-88, played by Taika Waititi.
That was the coolest thing I've seen all week, and I was like, that's so smart, because this whole, we have the Star Wars, Age of Rebellion voice dub coming up, and IG-88 is going to be in that, and I've been like racking my brain being like, what's his voice? So now that I know it's Taika, I'm so stoked, because I really loved him as Korg, and I think he really like brings a nice like element to like these odd characters, and I think it would be really rad to see him as a droid too. I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you think they'll show that in the trailer?
I hope so.
That's gonna be so rad.
It's got to be one of the highlights.
He did the finale, by the way. So, which is said to be like. So I guess the bookend episodes are going to be the ones that are like starting, the story and ending the story. So that'll be pretty rad to see what he does with a nice budget. And then, okay, cool. Harrison, what's something that we're all going to be talking about after this Mandalorian trailer drops?
I'm going to go out on a limb and be weirdly specific. I think there is going to be a big reveal of cast, some casting that no one knew about. And I'm going to put the money in down so that Robert Downey Jr. is going to just show up in some capacity.
That would be so cool. Yeah, because he's done with Marvel, so let's just yank him over to Star Wars now.
Yeah, it won't be a big part, but he'll just, he'll be in there, and he'll be like at the very end of the trailer. He'll turn up exactly the same like Tony Stark beard because he's just used to it now, and he'll say something clever, and that's it.
Okay, cool. So we're casting news that we had no idea about. I'm stoked for that. Actually, this sounds pretty cool. Did I already say what I wanted out of the Mandalorian? Okay, let me see what I wanted out of the Mandalorian. What's one thing that would like?
That'd be an interesting, interesting topic one week. Like what all the actors are going to do after the Marvel films are finished.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for real.
Like,
Yeah,
are they just
that's the quiz question.
going to retire?
For another time, right? I don't know what I want out of the Mandalorian. Variety. I'm really hoping that they don't it's not like the like Star Wars Resistance, how we're stuck on one planet. I'm hoping that I see a nice variety of characters, costumes, sets, weapons, ships. I would like to see some space stuff too. I'm hoping that they sneak a space battle, or at least a space kind of Attack of the Clones, Boba Fett or Jango Fett versus Obi-Wan kind of chase type style somewhere in the series. I would really dig that. Okay, we're getting towards the end. Star Wars Clone Wars. Okay, let's do this one, last one. Star Wars Clone Wars. And we'll do it's the lightning round again, so in one sentence. But what's one thing that you would like to see out of the Clone Wars, or maybe like a story arc resolved? For me, I'm gonna take everybody's answer away. I want to see the Battle of Coruscant. I want to see how they how, because I love that in the animated series. So I want to see them kidnap the Palpatine and have that whole encounter. I want to see it finally connect to Revenge of the Sith. So now that I took away your answer, guys, starting with Gilbert, what's one thing or a story arc that you would like to see completed in Star Wars Clone Wars?
I would like to see how Rex, Wolf, and Gregor got their chips out.
That would be cool. Yeah, because I heard it might bleed tad over Revenge of the Sith, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that'd be kind of interesting to see because those are three very popular Clone Wars characters that were in Rebels because we got our chips out before anything happened. I'm like, how?
Yeah, no, for real. So before anything.
Yeah, because they got their chips out before Order 66 happened. That's why they went off and did their own thing.
That would also be cool to see, like a story arc of them possibly watching over some Jedi or gaining
exactly
some Jedi,
like helping save younglings
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, that would be rad. Maybe them not trusting them right away, but having to prove that we're the good clones.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Also, huge shout out for I would love to see possibly I want to see what happened to Commander Cody.
Yeah,
because I was always hoping in Star Wars Rebels he would show up as like a bad guy or something.
He ended up on the Death Star during Episode 4.
Right. Machinima Man, what's a story, or a story that you would like to see resolved in Star Wars: The Clone Wars?
I don't know because I haven't seen the Clone Wars.
Okay, so you have until April 14th
to watch the entirety of 6 seasons.
Yep.
I'll try my best.
It's a good watch. I mean, there's definitely some throwaway episodes, but there's also so many juicy episodes too. And you get the return to Darth Maul and Pre Vizsla, that one Mandalorian with the black lightsaber voiced by Jon Favreau.
Dude, Cad Bane.
That's another thing I would like to see resolved too. I want to see what happened to Cad Bane, or possibly I want to see I remember there was some animated unfinished of Boba Fett versus Cad Bane, and get to see Boba Fett how he got the helmet dent and.
Yeah,
which I don't necessarily need to see, but whatever, cool. I guess
dude,
I
show me. Screw that, man. Show me how Boba Fett killed Cad Bane and became the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. How he claimed that title.
I would like to also show them him. If we're gonna go full nerd, I would love to see him repaint his armor.
Yes.
Let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's some go and then also maybe a brand new Boba Fett too. Maybe before his armor's all scratched up and. So maybe check out some episodes, or at least Google some. By next week, I at least want you to check out some Darth Maul episodes at least, or some of the Mandalorian episodes are really rad with the dark saber. Holy shit! Okay, edit that out, please. But Harrison, I'm gonna move on to you. Basically, lightning round. But did you check out Clone Wars? If so, what would you like to see resolved? A story arc we haven't got to see yet.
I'm afraid you're going to die, Sebastian, because I have not. No, I also just in defense of both me and Marshall, Clone Wars is not on the British Netflix.
I knew it.
How do you guys get a hold of it over there? Yeah, you had Titans.
We gotta sail the high seas and pirate it. We do.
Arr.
Yar.
Okay, cool. So that was a great show, and I'm really hoping Star Wars Resistance. Also, I'm really hoping and pulling for them. And then coming back full circle. Also, really neat thing, and I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil it. The Colossus at the end of the episode actually like leaves the planet. Like it's a space station.
Figures.
Yeah, but it was really neat. And then so basically, and here I'll full spoil it, but like at the end of the episode, we basically find they're launching into light speed and they're on their way to Dakar because it literally matched up with The Force Awakens. And I guess they made some wrong calculations, so we're like, we don't know where we're gonna end up. So who knows what's gonna go on with that show? But like, talk back with Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars, like, yeah, we definitely got really attached to some of those characters, and there's definitely huge potential for Star Wars Resistance to hopefully yank us all in. But okay, cool. All right, boys, you boys in the UK have some homework to be done this week. Okay, so coming back with the quiz question. For episode 34, we got our first look at the Dora the Explorer movie. And it actually turns out to be nothing like Dora the Explorer for all those fans at home that were really, waiting for this adaptation. So anyways, like the quiz question, like I said, I wanted you guys to all find a Nick Jr. show. I want you to tell me what the live action movie would be like, and then bonus points for getting further away from the source material. So starting with the Gilbs, what do you have, sir?
All right, you can all just go home right now because
I know what you're gonna do. I just know what you're gonna do.
I got Blue's Clues.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be called Blue's Clues: The Return of Steve.
Oh.
Yeah, and so
coming back from rehab.
Yeah, basically. And so what it's going to be is basically like think Sherlock Holmes. It's gonna be like a murder mystery kind of thing, in the same style as the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock. And it's gonna and so what we're gonna do is basically it has Joe, which is Steve's brother, who comes up and he finds Mr. Salt with his cap taken off and all the salt drained out, so he's dead.
And you know what? I think we'll actually keep all the animation the same because it's Blue's Clues. That was actually its whole shtick.
Yeah, and see, I want to have a thing like just to have a slight nod. I want to have his ringtone be the "We just got a letter, we just got a letter." So yeah.
So is this like a dark take on it, by the way?
Oh, absolutely. It's like I mean. Obviously, it's going to be a little goofy because it's salt, but yeah, then also we're going to end up seeing like the soap character is going to end up being in like the showers and they're going to be all like washed away and be just a pile of goop. Like
we can also have like the whole story arc of Mrs. Pepper and Paprika and Cinnamon mourning their father.
Exactly, yeah. But slowly but surely, all the characters from the show just kind of start dying, and it's going to be up to Joe and Blue to find out who it was. And it turns out it was just Steve, who's just like he's angry that they kicked him off the show in the first place.
I totally imagine the Blue's Clues theme, but like it's really creepy slow motion, just like
and then like
when you find out he's like the murderer.
Yes, exactly.
This weird blue tint, everything's like surreal. Okay, cool. I'm down, yo. And he has his handy dandy notebook, of course, right?
Yes, exactly.
Except this time he's writing in pen.
See, and when they come across the crime scene, it's going to be a paw print, but it's going to be in blood. It's like, oh my God, a clue.
I'm down, yo. This is cool. I was a huge Blue's Clues fan growing up. I wanted to be Steve so bad, and now that I'm the age of Steve, I don't want to be Steve. It's really weird how life works. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
I'm going to move on to Machinima Man. What Nick Jr. show have you brought us this week, sir?
Okay.
What movie are we getting?
In honor of me seeing my first ever horror film this week, we're going with The Teletubbies in a crossover with Five Nights at Freddy's, directed by Jordan Peele. And it's going to be a film about the Teletubbies being real life beings.
being real life.
And a bunch of school... They have school trips to the land of the Teletubbies. And one trip goes horribly wrong, and it turns out the Teletubbies aren't all they seem. and that vacuum that eats toast. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But
You know what's so funny? I was literally talking about Teletubbies this morning. It was so weird, but continue.
the toaster turns children to toast, to tubby toast.
And then along comes the vacuum.
Yeah, the vacuum eats the kids, and the Teletubbies are like creepy anyway. But like, imagine them in like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of setting.
It's
Nothing.
like a dark room that you think is empty, but then just the TVs on their stomachs just turn on.
Yes.
And like the antennas on their head. Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like the antennas on their head can sense children.
Thank you, Machinima Man.
You're welcome.
Coming to your nightmares this
this
summer.
Look how creepy they are. Can you imagine a horror film with the Teletubbies?
Their eyes are so
horrible.
dead.
Oh man.
They have those like who knows.
I've got to scroll up. I can't look at that. Is this meant to be me on the toilet? What have I come into?
Everybody, check out Patreon if you want to see how crazy we are in the chat. It's quite fun. You can even add to some of this. Maybe we'll put your screenshot or meme or up in the video. But thank you, Machinima Man.
You're welcome.
All right, Harrison, take it away, sir.
Okay, so
did you stick with the rules of the Nick Jr.?
I did stick with Nick Jr.
Thank you.
So I had to go look for some Nick Jr. and I had a bit of a hard time, but then I found a show because I knew you guys were going to take shows that everyone else knew. So I ended up with Max and Ruby.
Max and Ruby, the most UK show of all time.
Which I then like. I tried to find an image so I could post in the chat, and for some reason this is like the second image on Google for Max and Ruby. But that's just for us.
Oh my god! What
Hold
the?
on, let me pull up the image. I'm always at one
I
second.
don't think we could show that.
No, I don't think we
Whoa!
can. No, that's just for us. But anyway.
Oh my
Like I said,
lord.
Patreon. You guys can see it on our After Dark episode. But anyways, Ruby and Max. Wow.
So
it's live action.
Yeah.
Or CGI at least.
but,
at minimal.
yeah, and much like the Dora movie, it's aged up a bit. So they're not children. Max
There's
is
some
now
weird stuff.
Max is now a teenager. And we begin the movie talking about how the pair of them had a very idyllic childhood until both their parents died from a particularly horrible strain of cancer, and a really a heart-wrenching scene similar to the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Ruby, being the wonderful big sister she is, spent her life taking care of Max and raising him, making sure that they never went without, no matter what it took. Unfortunately, it meant that Ruby did some things she didn't want to do, and she went to some dark people during those times. And eventually she owed money to the wrong man, and he comes to collect. When Max comes home from soccer practice to discover that Ruby is gone, and he knows that only one person could have taken her, Max is now out on revenge. With nothing but a claw hammer and a bucket. He's gonna get Ruby back.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say to this.
Right? Okay, so let's move on to okay. So we have our course questions. So let's do a quick review. We have Gilbs with the
Blue's Clues.
Murder mystery. We have the nightmarish Teletubbies, Five Nights at Freddy's reimagining, directed by Jordan Peele, and we also have the Max and Ruby epic drama. Jeez, you guys brought me some great stuff this week, but I'm gonna have to give it to Harrison. I was really hoping for somebody would pick the Backyardigans.
Wow.
So I got the Max and Ruby. I was hoping somebody would dig deep. So I'm really proud of you, Harrison, for yanking that one out.
Boo.
I should have gone with Little Bill.
Yeah, y'all check out Patreon if you want it. We did a quick little Bill joke off air. That's not family friendly, but if you want to pay to hear us make some really awesome jokes, Patreon. So
I'm ruining
right.
my own career.
Disney will never hire us now.
You'll never work in Hollywood again.
So let's do it though. Great work, boys. I really loved it this week. So we're 4 episodes in. I got to review and see how we're doing, but I think we're all pretty neck and neck, right?
I don't have a point.
You gotta come back, man. Get a full
I think
force.
Harrison's winning this season.
I think he is. Gilbert, you also have a point or two, right?
Yeah, I have a point.
Cool. So everybody get excited for Fulcrum Fight 4. That'll be our 40th episode. I'll make sure to come up with all kinds of wackiness for that. But let's close this episode out, guys. Gilbert, thank you so much for being on the episode. Any plugs you have for us this week?
Yes, actually.
Oh, cool.
I have just recently today finished the Django comic. So
can you? Is it like complete? Like, can I watch it after this?
Well, I just need to finish up the credits real quick, and then I'm going to be sending it off the first thing I can. So probably first thing in the morning.
Oh, I have to wait till tomorrow.
Probably, yeah. But yes,
Okay.
it is done.
Cool.
I'll be sending it off soon, and then I'll be working after I finish up with the episode of the Fulcrum Report this week. I will be working on the special.
Right on. And if y'all want to check out Instagram, I have the casting announcements going up for that. It's like 21 different characters. This is our biggest project yet. It's going to be super cool, too. Hopefully, did that Love, Death, Robots inspire you a tad? More to be a bit more...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so let's be a bit more random with it. Are you cool with it now?
To an extent. Not as much, but to an extent.
Cool. But I'm super... Yeah, right? We're not going to get that crazy, but... but for all y'all at home who don't know, I direct the Age of Republic series, and I'm really like... It's kind of like a 3-parter comic, which is really neat because I'm gonna have like each one kind of have a different tone, and you're gonna get to hear some cool music, hopefully some cool sounds, and it's coming up. So everybody check it out, and check out our Patreon because that's how we can get these out to you sooner. Thank you so much, Gilbert. You're amazing. I can't wait.
Absolutely, man.
Cool. And then let's shoot it over to Machinima Man. Thank you so much, Machinima Man Marshall, for being on. It's a pleasure. Any plugs for us this week?
Thank you for having me as always. Yes, actually, I do this week. It's been a long time in the works, but there's a mod just come out for Skyrim called Carved Brink. It's the same guys I worked for last time, and the last mod won Mod of the Year, I think, from Bethesda, which is really cool.
And you were in that?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was in that. This is a follow-up.
So awesome.
I play various goblin characters. I had 350 lines, so it was probably the biggest one for me so far. You can find it on Nexus Mods, Xbox, Steam, and it's coming to Switch later on.
Okay, cool. So if you have it on Xbox, you can go download
Yeah,
it. And the first one's available right now, right?
The first one was Project AHO, which is also on all of those. Just search it in the mods. And this one's called Carved Brink. You can find that there too. They have original soundtrack you can download, and an art book you can download as well.
Ooh, an art book. Okay, so they went all out for this mod, huh?
Yeah, I
Is
think
this
they
like
put,
new areas and is it new areas and quests and armors and stuff?
Yeah, new quests, completely new area, new storyline, new objects, new items, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So everybody that's a huge like Skyrim fan, go check it out because they're doing a great job, and apparently they're doing Bethesda's job and just continuing dishing out way better content. So
Yeah, it's only 2 guys who do it as well, and
oh my god,
yeah, it's taken them years. So yeah, I'd really appreciate if you check it out.
Cool. Right on. Cool. Everybody go check it out, and I gotta go get Skyrim for Xbox, but I wanna definitely check that out. Is Skyrim in Game Pass at all?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm still like reluctantly playing Game Pass, and I'm like, why do I have this? It was really good at one point, but now I'm like playing games I actually own, so I don't need the streaming service. Yeah, Cool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Mr. Harrison Bulman, thank you so much for being on this week. Do you have any plugs for us, sir?
I do. The thing that I mentioned last time I was on, the Figment Legacy of Imagination, episode 2 of that has already dropped, so that's out now and you can go see it. It gets a little bit freaky at the end of this episode. We go a little bit away from the delightful Epcot Disney and we start getting a little bit darker. Also, something that happened just today, it is a teaser on the Russian Comic Book Geek YouTube channel for a Fantastic Four dub that we've done. It's Fantastic Four fixing everything, and I am playing Ben Grimm.
Ooh, cool.
Nice.
My favorite. Awesome. Okay, cool.
Unfortunately, I do not get to say clobbering time, so, you know...
Oh!
I know. Like, what's even the point?
Right? You're like, was it in your contract? You're like, I must say clobbering time, and they had to pay you a tad extra. But, okay, so everybody go check that out. That sounds super awesome. You said that's on the Russian Comic Dubs page?
Russian Comic Book Geek.
Russian Comic Book Geek. Cool. And they do voice dubs over there and all that?
Yeah, he definitely watches the comic experience, because I've seen him in the comments and had a chat with him a few times.
Oh, awesome. Does he check out the Fulcrum Report?
I don't know if he does. He definitely asked me, because he saw my email signature says I'm a podcast, and he's like, "You have a podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, here it is." So maybe he has.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, spread the word, yo. Cool. And then thank you so much for being on, everybody. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and it's always a pleasure. You're always the highlight of my week, and hopefully everybody at home really enjoys it too. My name is Sebastian. Like I said, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Revan Winter Soldier. I actually have a quick little plug. I am going to put on, if any of y'all are in the California region, I'm putting on a Phantom Menace 20th anniversary event here in Huntington Beach. So if any of y'all are interested and y'all are in the area, I'm gonna have a fun night. We're gonna screen the Phantom Menace. Hopefully people will show up in costumes and stuff. That'll be super rad. And then I'm gonna actually kind of tie in have a little bit of a Fulcrum fight for everybody. Star Wars themed Fulcrum fight before the show. Have some prizes. It'll be cool. And then also, with the permission of the comic experience, also hopefully air a couple of the like maybe the Qui-Gon dub and the Darth Maul dub live in front of everybody. So that would be pretty cool if you want to see a live screening of that. So, like I said, stay tuned for that. It's going to be sometime in May. I'll keep everybody informed if y'all seem interested in that. But thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Like I said, if you wouldn't mind, please dropping a like on the channel. Subscribe to our video. Hit the little bell notification so you know when the videos come up. We'll pop right into your notifications. Comment below. Let us know what some topics you want to talk about. Let us know how wrong you think we are. And just get down there with us. We love you, and it makes us feel awesome to see and talk with you guys. We really appreciate it. But without further ado, Fulcrum Report 34 out.
I don't know how I got these.
Oh my god! You know what I've just done? I've gone to Google and went to put in the Harrison Ford, but I've put in Harrison Bulman.
What comes up? What comes up?
Well, I didn't
Everything.
I didn't click search. I respect Harrison's privacy.
I don't. No, just kidding.
So we did that.